Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything. I'm coming at you with the recap for episode 3 of our Traveler role-playing game. We play every Thursday night, 5 o'clock. And if you want to check that out, we're on Twitch and YouTube. And we're going to have these recaps if you don't have the time, or if you just want a shortened version. We're going to do these recaps every week. They should only be about 15-20 minutes. Here's episode 3. Then the following week, they come into Borite. They fly into Borite. This is actually episode 3 because 1 was all the stuff. Episode 1, it's not chapter 1, but episode 1 was running around the floating palace. Episode 2 was actually chapter 1. Okay, so we're still in chapter 1. They haven't left chapter 1. They're still trying to find this pirate. That's all part of chapter 1. So in episode 3, they respond to the distress signal. Okay, and then they go in, and when they get to the gas giant, they find this old tech, like 2,000-year-old space station. It's broken down and stuff like that, but it looks like it's been in use, like it's been repaired, remodeled. Some people have been using it, but it's old. And there's some debris in the area, and they detect life signs through their thermal sights that there is something alive on the station, and there's a distress beacon, saying help. Okay. So they get in their vac suits, grab their guns, and they float across to this space station. They open the airlock, they go inside. I'm going to make a long story short. They search through this space station, which, we're using miniatures and maps and everything. They float around in 0G until they run into a creature that is called a Chamax or a Chamax. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's Chamax, right? So I think it's Chamax, like a chimera. It's a Chamax, I think. And so, but basically what it is like a spider that spits acid. Nasty, right? It's in vacuum. It's in vacuum and 0G and still functioning fine, right? Because I guess it's a spider. It can cling on the walls and stuff. But the vacuum doesn't affect it at all. So it, kind of like an alien. One of the players, the spy, meets it by himself. He goes to an airlock. It sprays acid on him. He's like, ah! And then the other players yank him back and close the door. And then when they go through, because it's a one-person airlock, you can only go one at a time. So the next, Urbanicki's got the gun, so he goes through, and it's not there, right? The spider is gone. The Chamax is gone, leaving a blood trail off to the side. Not a blood trail, a little acid dripping trail down the side, so they can actually see maybe where it had gone to. But they said, nope, we're going to search this place. We're trying to find this Vargar. We're going to try to rescue him. Let's go to all the rooms and try to find him, right? So they go through some rooms. They find this painting on the wall of, like, super old, and it's from the Sindalian Empire with a king and all that stuff. They said, we should take that painting because it might be worth something, right? So they said, well, we'll come back to it because it's, that's not important right now because this Vargar might be running out of oxygen or something. So they continue on. They find the distress beacon. It's tied into it's a vac suit distress beacon, so it wouldn't have enough juice to reach their ship from the gas giant, but it is tied into the station's satellite dish. So that's how it got the extra range. And so they said, oh, okay, cool. And then they continue searching, and they find this Vargar. He's hiding in a corner somewhere in a vac suit, trying to avoid that Chamax. And as soon as they find him, the Chamax attacks the guy in the back. Who is it? Guess who? The agent, right? So he's in the back, and he's got a stunner, and he runs. Run! Right? Which, this is a lesson that I learned about the rules. There is attack of opportunities in Traveler, and I didn't realize it until after the fight. I was like, oh, check that rule out right there. If you run away, they get to attack you with a +2. But too late. I didn't do it. And so I'm going to assume that they were floating and zero G and stuff like that. So Urbaniki with his Gauss rifle, he shoots at it and goes spinning out of control. Then I don't remember. The agent shoots at it with a sniper rifle or something. I don't remember, but they were both spinning at both ends of the corridor. They were both spinning out of control. Eventually, they regained. He kept shooting with a stunner. So yeah, so they were both spinning out of control. Like one would recover from spinning, because if you fire a weapon that's not zero G capable, it will cause you to spin out of control, and that's what happened. But they eventually, after about 5 or 6 times of shooting it and it spitting acid and biting people and stuff, tearing suits open in vacuum, they're all like, roll some duct tape on. They lived, and they rescued the Vargar. They got the painting. They got back to their ship. The Vargar spilled his guts. He's basically Kirsch, which is the captain of the Misery's company, which was the pirate ship that attacked the Scaramund on the last planet. But his crew abandoned him on this space station like a mutiny, basically. They didn't like... He got someone killed because of they attacked a merchant ship that had guns, right? Which was the Scaramund. And so they felt like he was incompetent or something, so they abandoned him on this planet, on this space station, to die. And then he found there was a Kamax on the station, and so he was in a bad way. But luckily the players came in time, because they've been chasing this Misery's company. And he said, okay, this is what the deal is. He was in like a retinue of a bunch of pirates that were working together, and that was Ferric Redthane. He was formerly part of a pirate gang under Admiral Darrokin. Admiral Darrokin is an imperial trader. Basically, he was an imperial admiral, and then fled the empire with a bunch of ships and became a pirate king, basically, in this area. And Kirsch, the Vargar, his boss, Ferric, used to work for him, but they quarreled, and now Ferric has a price on his head. Now, because Ferric can't set foot on a planet called Thieves, he probably sent his second in command, which is Miria Silverhand, to negotiate with Darrokin. So Kirsch asks the players that if they give him free passage or they allow him to be part of their crew, he'll reveal all of his secrets. And the players accept because they wanted an additional crew. They liked this guy. They rescued him. I don't know. They felt a bond with him. And so he tells them he knows the secret routes. He knows where a refueling dump is, and landing codes. So the players get this information from him. They can make a jump to a planet, a system, palindrome, and then from there they can make I think it's palindrome, and then they can make another jump to the fuel dump, and then they can actually make a jump to Thieves. Right now they can't make those jumps because they don't have the fuel. So they don't have the fuel to make a jump 3. They can only do a jump 2. So by jumping to the fuel dump, they can link that up. So they go to this planet, palindrome. They land and they go shopping because this place has a low law level. It's like law level 4, and it's tech 11. So they can actually get they can get some good stuff, and kind of avoid a little bit of the law. Well, they get swords and they get rifles and stuff, shotguns, axes. One guy got a energy axe or something, and then some tailored vac suit equipment, some like computer chips and night vision goggles and stuff. Just basically equip themselves up, and then they made the jump to the fuel dump. So they make a jump to this fuel dump, and this fuel dump, Kirsch, the Vargar, tells them that a lot of the fuel is booby trapped. It's got some particles in the fuel, so that when you put it through the fuel plant, it could destroy your engine or damage your engine. So make sure that no matter which fuel tank you get your hydrogen from, you really need to run it through the purifiers anyway, even if the containers say they're purified. So they do, and then they make the jump to Thieves. Well, guess what? That's the end. That's where we're at right now in the campaign. They're currently making the jump to Thieves, and that's where we'll continue this Thursday. All right, so I know you just got finished probably watching like 3 different videos, because this went on for like an hour. I recorded one long session. What I'm going to do is, and what I have already done, apparently in your eyes, is because the way I edited it, is I've had 3 episode recaps. They should only be about 20 minutes each in the future. These recaps shouldn't be, or 15 to 20 minutes. I won't have to give you all the backstory and everything. All right, guys, so thanks for coming out and checking out these recaps, and I'll see you next week.